Hi everyone, I'm Josh Rodriguez, ERP Integration Architect, and today we're going to build on our previous video's application by introducing the Model Context Protocol. We're going to go over a quick diagram of the architecture and then we're going to go over a quick demo. So let's get started. So in our previous video, we demonstrated how an AI can consume data from a MuleSoft style integration layer to assist with a healthcare referral coordinator. And instead of building custom integrations between AI agents and enterprise APIs, MCP or the Model Context Protocol provides a standard way for AI clients like Claude Desktop, which we're going to be using in this example, to discover and invoke governed business capabilities. So going over our diagram, again, if we remember, we have our 5 endpoints right here, which are for calling the patient API for the patient demographics, then verifying if it's eligible for insurance, then it does a provider search, it checks for availability, and lets you know if you need prior authorization. That is governed now after this modification. This is the part that's going to change right here. So we're going to have basically an orchestration layer which will be called by our newly added MCP server. Again, our application is based on Node.js. We're adding an MCP server, which is basically doing sort of like a function for searching exactly what the client wants. And the client in this case is going to be Claude Desktop. Okay, so rather than having the AI make individual calls to the endpoints right here, it's just going to do basically one call from these ones right here. It may do more than one depending on whether you're asking a complicated question, but the idea is to simplify it right here. All right, so let's go into the code and run this to see how it looks. Oops. All right, so we got our thing running right here. And now we're actually gonna kick off our inspector, and the inspector is what it's gonna be is basically the an equivalent for Postman for making API calls. So you know how Postman is used for REST API calls. This is basically the equivalent for MCP. So we have to go to our oops, it's early morning. Enterprise dash MCP MuleSoft demo slash API MCP server. All right, there you go. And then we're gonna actually call our inspector, our context protocol slash inspector node server.js. It's gonna load, and it's gonna allow us to run it from a browser right here in this location. So we're gonna click it and open it. So without getting into too much details, we're gonna basically just connect and go into our list of tools, and in here we can see basically the endpoints that we mentioned between patient lookup, insurance eligibility, and so on. So let's do, just for testing this, just to see how it looks, let's just do a patient lookup. And in here we see we have our schema, which is basically helping us with what data we can use for testing this. So in this case, we're going to look for patient P10001. P1001. We run it, and the result was a success. And this is the output that we're getting. For this ID, we have Maria Santos, which is our example from our previous video, and with the referral reason for cardiology evaluation. So our testing tool worked beautifully. So now let's go into our actual client call, because this is, again, just a testing tool, and users are gonna actually just run it from the Claude client app. And again, it needs to be running the app because this is the only way that it's supported. You can't do it online. So before we run our actual query, we are gonna see real quick how do we set the MCP up. So under settings, we go to developer, and in here we see that we already have it set up. So this is our MCP right here, and it's currently running. You just basically edit the config file, which is right here. And long story short, you just go to the very bottom and add a section for the MCP server. All right. So let's go back and run an actual query. And in here, let's type, can Maria Santos proceed with her cardiology referral? So it's gonna think, so this is good because that means it's going into our list of tools in our MCP server. All right, it says, I'd be glad to check that. I just need the patient ID to look her up. And again, we see we have a helper right here. So yes, we are gonna do that. So yes, please, for P1001. And voila. It says, yes, Maria Santos cardiology referral can proceed. This is the referral for recurrent chest discomfort for the doctor and the status of active. The coverage, which is active and in network. The recommended provider, Dr. Alicia, with the next available date of July 2nd. Again, this is in the past, but again, that is mock data that we have. And a finishing statement with the system marks this as ready for nurse review. And again, we added a clause, if we remember, that this does need human review. Everything checks out, but it still needs a quick human sign off before scheduling is finalized. So we did get our MCP call to correctly behave from the Claude AI desktop app. That is all for today. I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.